Hey, good morning, sports fans. Louis Diamond in our Las Vegas handicapping studios, and it is Saturday morning, December 19th, 2020. And I am joined today with our resident weekend warrior, Mr. Tony Gulledge, who's absolutely been on fire with his bookie busters. He's got a bookie buster for you today. And let's just get right down to it. Quick show today. We're not going to cover all the games. We got a couple pro games. We got a few college games we're going to talk about. And we'll get right down to it. Good morning, Mr. Gulledge. How's life treating you?
Hey, good morning, Lou. Pretty good. Not too bad. Cashed a really big play on Belmont. Had given it out to everybody and pushed them to put some money on it, and they did. So I'm glad when those kind of bets pan out. So hopefully today will be a repeat. I'll just quickly mention last 3 Saturdays with the bookie busters just absolutely crushed the college football biggest play each of the last 3 weeks. Hoping to make it round out a nice full month of winners here with this play today.
All right. So I'm coming in a little choppy on you. You're coming in a little choppy with me, so I'm not sure where our technical issues lie, but I'm just going to roll with this right now. And let's just get started with our first game on the board, and that will face the Panthers and the Packers. And the Packers are a 9.5 point favorite. They opened up at 9, a little love, up to a little 9.5 in some spots. And total is 52, opened up 51.5. It's still pretty much a 51.5. So now Packers, they still have home field to be playing for, so they really can't take their foot off the brakes. And but 9 points just may be a little too much. Carolina's lost 7 out of the last 8. So Carolina going to be hanging tough in this game. What are your thoughts, Tom?
Yeah, Green Bay has a propensity for just doing just enough to win, particularly at home in some of these spots. But you mentioned it, Green Bay has only the top seed in each conference gets to take a week off. So there is a lot for these teams to play for in terms of trying to get the number 1 overall seed in each conference. Panthers, they got the 20-0 win at home against Detroit. Other than that, they've been a complete dumpster fire. They've hung in, to say that's the true against the spread, however, they've hung in quite well against teams like Kansas City on the road. Minnesota, they lost by a point. So you've had spots where they've actually competed but still can't get the job done. Close game last week, Packers, Lions. I took the Lions, just got in under the spread. As we mentioned, thought it was a little high. I'm going to flip that script this week. Cold weather. Carolina, I think, is now in a position to try to get the better draft pick. Why would you really go after wins here? They don't mean anything. For me, the play here is on the Packers. I'm taking Green Bay in this game, Luke.
All right. I do think Green Bay is the probable, but I think they got a lot of points. So you know me. I think Green Bay is the teaser today. A play in the teaser.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know, and I forgot to mention this on Thursday, if you bet the San Diego Chargers, the LA Chargers,
I think I saw this number. Yeah, it'd be like 90%. Or I saw this number. I saw that
any point. Bet them or against them. You know what?
Either way, take either team or whatever, any kind of teaser involving them it'd be cash, and I saw that.
Yeah, I think that was our little liberal buddy Alan DeRozier's put that one up there. He's got some good stuff.
Maybe he did. Maybe that's where I saw it.
Yeah. I want to give him credit for it because he did the homework for it. At the end of the day, he pulled it out, and it's a really interesting stat. So look at them Chargers on the teaser for the remaining 2 games left, or whatever we got left, 3 games. So, all right. So I believe Packers teaser. You believe Packers on a romp, and they do need to win. I think they figure out.
They'll cover the number. Always got to figure some garbage.
They're 9.5 point favorites. It's a romp.
Well,
it's a romp.
Romp. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So now the senior team of the guys that crushed us last night. We all kind of went all in on them Buffalo Bulls. You guys twisted my arm, and it's all your fault. Man, did they shit the bed. And then the total didn't come in. Oh, my God.
It set on 66 the whole fourth. It set on 66 the whole fourth quarter too. Nobody would score. I was thinking that
You
as it
know,
was coming out, I was like, you know what? Nobody's scored here, and they might not. And when they got stuffed on fourth down, that was that pretty much. And like, yikes!
yeah.
That was-
Yeah, that was a good old fashioned screwing right there. So
Mm.
should have at least got the over, which would have been at least kind of a push night. Small little loss, but they got me there. Them damn Bulls. Now will the Bills get me
I
today? They
made up
got me.
for it with, I got Oregon, so I can at least give the thumbs up on the Oregon
I had that
popping.
over. I
What
had
did
that
they end
over
up?
yesterday. Another one that if they tie it up, it goes over. So USC has a
Right,
chance.
right.
No,
Oof.
they couldn't
Yeah.
tie it up. And it
All
started
right.
out explosive, then slowed down. Yeah. Well, all right. So now the Buffalo Bills. I mean, they got to be an obvious play here. How's Denver going to compete with them? Denver's sure they have that mathematical chance still alive. And Buffalo, they get a chance to clinch the AFC East for the first time in a couple of decades here today. You know, and I think McDermott is really doing a pretty good job of keeping their heads on straight during this, because even the quotes he's making, he says, all we won right now is a lot of noise, which is a great statement. That's trying to keep his team grounded. You ain't won nothing yet, guys. You got to still go out there and win it. So I like when a coach says that. So that's making me feel that Buffalo could be a solid play here today, but I will obviously put that in with the teaser so I'll be teasing both favorites here today. So, but let me get some thoughts from you on this one, Tom.
Yeah, I think this is the spot that smells. Lou, Buffalo 3 consecutive wins, like you said, 10-3, sitting pretty, loving life, and here they go into Mile High as a 5.5, 6-point road favorite against a Denver team that I think they won last out, but they've had a couple rough patch, but at home they've played much better. And I'll note the only really home game here recently where they were totally beat out of it was the game where their practice squad wide receiver played quarterback. That was to the Saints. They did beat Miami at home, and they played some other competitive games at home. So I think you're going to get a solid effort from them. I just find this is a soft spot for Buffalo. They might come in ready to go, but I think for some reason, somehow, some way, watch for Allen to make a mistake, something that makes this really, really greasy. And while like I say, I think Denver almost a little taste on the money line wouldn't be the worst play, but when I'm getting the points with Denver here, I feel really good. That's probably my better of the two NFL plays today would be to back Denver getting the points against a hot Buffalo team.
Well, not only a hot Buffalo team, but a hot Buffalo team that does very well on the road, and a hot Buffalo team that has back-to-back divisional games to close out that season. This is kind of their spot. I can't see them. If they fall asleep here, shame on them, because they need to lock themselves into the scenario before they face Miami, then New England to close out the season. Miami at home, and then at New England. Doesn't really matter what happened this year with these teams. It's a big divisional game, back-to-back divisional games. So I got to believe Buffalo will at least pull the win out here today. But you know how me and them Buffalo teams do. Look at Buffalo, Pittsburgh, had the over on the teaser at 41.5 on Sunday. It said on 41 forever and a day.
I mean, you're even mentioning how big the game next week is, Lou. I mean, that right there is making me think even more. You're sitting here, they finished the season with 2 divisional games to finish their. You're right. Those are huge. This is the lull.
You're thinking they're looking ahead. I get that. That. You think they're looking ahead.
They just beat
I don't
Pittsburgh.
think the
Big
coach
win against the
ahead.
Steelers. New England, division title right in front of them. I think if there's a game where they could slip up and not have complete focus, I think it might be this one. I'm just, like I said, I've seen this before, and Buffalo to me is not a contending team for the Super Bowl. I think there's better, Kansas City. There's just better overall teams.
All right, so Kansas City. So who's second in the AFC behind Kansas City?
Yeah, I mean, good question.
You're in the headlights, Red Rifle.
Colts. Yeah, no, Colts. I'm not going to say the Browns. That's for damn sure.
Well, you know what? Any of those teams are possible, but as of right now in this moment,
Maybe
Buffalo
it's
is the hottest
Miami.
of all of them.
Maybe, Miami's playing
Absolutely.
well.
But really, is Miami more sound than Buffalo? Miami has gotten some pretty miracle
Defensively,
wins.
I think
Defensively,
Miami's a
well, I
better
mean,
team.
when they need their
And
defense to score the points, that's a little
well, you just
worrisome.
need your defense to control the flow of the game more than anything,
Well,
Lou. And
agreed.
when you get to these big games, your defense sets the pace and allows everything to happen the way you want it. If you got a bad
I agree
defense,
with that.
you can't dictate anything. And I think that might be where Buffalo in a game today, their defense isn't that solid. So maybe Denver's able to pound out a few long drives and keep the game the way they want it. That's just the way I'm kind of sensing. I could be wrong, but I'm sensing a bad spot for Buffalo. Usually when you get these kind of hot teams, that's what I do. I'm looking for the soft spot for a hot team. No, Buffalo's hot right now. They're really, really hot, and I think this could be the soft spot for them.
Okay.
And you give me those two divisional games at the end, makes me think, yeah, I might be right even more. It's kind of making me like it more.
No, I'm going to disagree with that one. Knowing you got two divisional games, sure, you got look ahead with that. But knowing you have two divisional games, you got to focus on what's in front of you, an inferior opponent that can get you the AFC crown. So maybe that is too much pressure for this team. You may be right, because they definitely have the pressure going into the game. They got that pressure.
Yeah. So, we agree on that. They've got the pressure.
Yeah, the pressure is on them all day long. Nothing to lose for Denver. Only thing they can win is a possible better mathematical equation, which is pretty deep as it is. All right, so that takes care of our NFL for today. So now let's roll ourselves into college football. And do we have a game before we get off to that Jamokin, Texas over there that's going to put everybody to sleep, Mr. Cusimano? What do we got? I'm looking for our schedule here, guys. Our next game on the schedule.
We're ahead of it. Northwestern Ohio State, we got listed ahead of it. One ahead of Cusimano.
Northwestern and Ohio State. So Ohio State, I believe they were 18.5-point favorites.
Sounds about right. Still about the same.
Okay, and they are 56 is the total. Now Ohio State, another team right now that has to kind of run up that score. That they're getting a lot of slack for not playing enough games, not winning by enough points. Now they're here 18-point favorites, but they really need a 40-point win to kind of impress everybody. Do you feel they're going to pull that off?
I think they're going to cover this number, Lou, and I just think they're a much better team than Northwestern, and more importantly, Northwestern's offense just cannot stick with us. So even if Northwestern's defense comes out and plays pretty good for a quarter or two, what have you, it's still not going to be enough because Ohio State's just going to keep coming and coming, and Northwestern's offense is what's so scary here. They're awful, Lou. I mean, they run running plays on 3rd and 7. They're handing up the middle. You can get 2 yards, 4th and 5, and punt. It's really hard to watch. If you're a fan of it, I don't know how you deal with it. But that quarter obviously shows the coach's lack of confidence in the quarterback, where there's points of the game where he literally does not want the kid to throw the ball. So for me, it's all Ohio State all day here. I'll note that the only thing that Ohio State, I feel, has to worry about getting knocked out of the playoffs is if Florida beats Alabama somehow, some way. Then cosmetically, you got to worry about Ohio State. Other than that, I think they're in. Barring an upset loss, if they just win this game, I think they're going to be in. Unless Florida somehow beats Alabama, then now they have a decision to make. But Ohio State's certainly going to look to pour the points on. I don't think they're going to take it easy till this game's long past decided. And even then, Northwestern, I don't even think they're good enough to take advantage of the garbage time. Their offense is just that inept. Ohio State big in this game today.
More than likely, you are probably right. I will have to agree with you there. Since 2006, the closest that Northwestern has come against Ohio State was a 10-point game, and they didn't cover because they were only a 6.5-point dog. So other than that, it's been 19 points or more for Ohio State, and usually a lot more. Last year, a 49-point win, 52-3. The year before that, 19. So, I'm sorry, I did miss in 2016. Ohio State did win by 4. So twice has it been a close game. So 6 out of the last 7 have gone over, and this is where that defense will not be the defense that wins. It's the only way they will win this game. And like you said, I don't see this defense shutting them
Not
down
the whole
enough.
game. They're not going to be able to stop them the whole game, Lou. I mean, they might look good. It might come out strong. It might be a close game going into the first quarter, 3-0, or going into halftime, 14-7. But at some point, the dam is going to break, and Ohio State's going to score a lot of points, and Northwestern will not be able to keep up.
All right. Now that'll take us to our Big 12 championship, and that will face Oklahoma. Will be at Iowa State, and Iowa State. I think this is I think this is a spot for them to finally get themselves a conference championship since 1912. So I'm an Iowa State. I'm an Iowa State backer here, and lucky for us, we have our man on the street down there in Texas to get us the deep scoop from Dallas. Give it to us, Mr. Cusimano. Take it away.
Thank you, BettorCenter. Tony C. here, your man on the street here, Arlington, Texas, AT&T Stadium, and of course, neutral site here for the Big 12 championship game. Now, we have 2 of the hottest teams in college football coming into this game. We have number 10, Oklahoma, the Sooners, versus number 6, Iowa State. What do we have here? Well, we got a little bit of payback on the side of Oklahoma. If you recall, the last time this team has lost, I mean, both teams are hot, but the last time Oklahoma has lost was on October 3rd at Iowa State. It was a 37-30 loss. So we do have a little bit of revenge here. And the question the question I have for you guys is to start off is how does a number 10 seed versus a number 6 seed come in as the favorite? So right now we're looking at -5 Oklahoma Sooners and 58.5. Wouldn't you think that Iowa State would be -5? And by the way, that line since this morning has moved. It was 5.5, guys, and everyone watching in America. So we went from 5.5 down to 5. So it tells you that the money's leaning towards Iowa State with the public.
It went back up to 6.
Did it move? Okay, it has moved since we. All right, so there we go. It's back to 6. So, and you are correct, Lou. The last time Iowa State has won a conference championship or conference title was in 1912, but they didn't win it outright. They tied with Nebraska that year. So it's long and coming. We'll see what happens. Oklahoma 7-2, 6-2 in the Big 12 overall, and then of course Iowa State 8-2, 8-1 in the Big 12 overall. Both coaches, Matt Campbell and Lincoln Riley of Oklahoma, they have the greatest amount of utmost respect for each other, for one another here. Where do we? I'm going to throw it back to you guys in a minute, but I just want to know in closing, where do we go from here? Because it's going to be an offensive game, we know that, and you've got Brock Purdy. I mean, he's looking pretty, very pretty, with 5 straight wins for Iowa State. But then again, on the other side, as we just covered, 6 straight wins for Oklahoma. The force behind this team here is Spencer Rattler for Oklahoma Sooners. So I expect fireworks here. I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair. It's how close is it going to be kept? Is Oklahoma going to pull away in the end in this revenge game? What do you guys think?
Well, I definitely like the dog. I think the dog on the money line is another play here. We cashed the ticket back in October with the dog on the money line right here on this show. And I want to relive the magic. I don't feel the revenge is going to be strong enough. This is the biggest game in the history of Iowa State's program, at least recent history, anything close to recent history. They're going to be, I don't think it's the pressure. I don't think that they have the pressure. I think, hey, we're here. We got here. We built this. I mean, this is something that they built, and I think they expect to win this game. And I believe that's all they're going to need. Not overconfidence. Just expect to win, to play their game. I like the money line here. How about you, Tony?
Oh, we're going to totally disagree on this game, Lou. Since that 37-30 win by Iowa State in the first meeting of the season, I've noticed a massive increase in the offensive efficiency of this Oklahoma team, man. It's really gotten going. They did have a tough game kind of with Baylor, if you want to call 2-touchdown win a tough game. But and it showed me something. They had to kind of gut that out where everything wasn't perfect, and they did. I think the revenge is a factor. I don't know the last time Oklahoma's lost twice to the same team. Mentioning the Big 12, it's been a while. I get it. Bob Stoops. I was thinking when you were mentioning that Bob Stoops, the Florida State game that was like 10-2, the national title game. Beyond that, I guess they haven't done a ton now that we talk about it. But I think this is the spot for Oklahoma to get the revenge, man. This is the kind of program that doesn't like losing games like they lost to Iowa State earlier in the year. And they see another conference title banner to hang, and I think they get the job done offensively. Defense, I don't have a ton of confidence in, but I think their offense is going to be strong enough to cover any blemishes that defense might have in this game. But while they're not a great defense, they are a big play, opportunistic defense, and perhaps you'll see some of that here. I'm going with Oklahoma in this game, Lou.
All right. Now, if we go back and I'm trying to pull up these head-to-head matchups because I've been riding the Cyclones against Oklahoma for a little while, and actually they've covered 5 straight against them, and they had a lot of revenge in the October meeting by losing that 42-41. So they had the revenge and they pulled it off. Now this is kind of the double revenge for them. Even though they've covered, they have just basically missed against this Oklahoma team, and this is their chance to put the cat in the bag, so to speak. So I will be back in Iowa State here today. I will be backing them on the money line. You will not be talking me off of it, Mr. Red Rifle. But so
good.
All right,
sounds like one of us will win, so that part of it is good. Bookie's dream.
Unless it lands on 6. But actually, because I'll have a lot of people that have 6. So, all right, Cusimano, well, you got anything else out there in Texas? What else you got for us before we ship you off? And don't put us to sleep.
No, I was just going to say, Tony G is very confident in OU, but 5 straight conference titles. Are they going to get a 6? It's tough to do, and neither of you mentioned the total. Each of you has a side. Tony likes OU. Louis Bag of Diamonds likes Iowa State. What about a total here? I mean, 58.5. It trickled up a half a point since last night. So what do you guys think here? It could go the other way. It could be a very tight game, but I see it going over.
8 out of the last 10 have gone over, so there's no reason.
I agree. We kind of agree on that, guys. I think this game, if you just kind of put it on a bell curve where the median would fall here, I think the offenses will have better control of this game on most occasions. So, yeah, we all seem to kind of agree that if the over is more likely than the under in this game. I expect points tonight. Or excuse me, this game is actually early. This game starts in an hour.
We got an hour to kickoff, so call the bookie.
Expect a lot of points. Yeah, that 58.5 looks juicy now that we're mentioning it.
I will agree as well. So Tony, Oklahoma, me, Iowa State, all of us over. All right, listen, Cusimano, we're going to talk about I think we got Clemson, Notre Dame next. You got anything to jump in on Clemson and Notre Dame before we head out there, Cusimano?
I'm going to stay away from that one. That one, again, that's a neutral site at the Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. So you kind of have to lean maybe with Clemson. I think they might have Notre Dame has a huge fan base, though. They're national, but Clemson is only an hour south of Charlotte, so I would have to lean maybe to Charlotte. Tony
fans.
Gulledge, that's your neck of the woods. I'm sorry?
Yeah. There's no fans.
Tony
I mean, if
Gulledge,
there are, they'll be very limited. Very limited. So
yeah, they'll be
it's
very.
tough.
It's like a home game for Clemson, is what I'm saying. Is they're not that far from their home turf. Tony Gulledge, that's your neck of the woods, North Carolina. What do you think?
I'm going to be right off the top. We're going to discuss the Clemson Notre Dame ACC title game from Charlotte. This is going to be my bookie buster play of the day, guys. We recall Clemson heartbreaking kind of loss. Notre Dame did make plays. I noted Notre Dame made plays that game. Clemson with their backup quarterback playing as Lawrence standing on the sidelines, healthy with a mask, waiting test results. Cleared the protocol for COVID-19, but it needed a cardiovascular exam to be approved before he could play. It was just bureaucratic horse manure. So Clemson has some motivation there. ACC title game, Charlotte, North Carolina, 10-point spread. Clemson is the favored. Bookie busters are now 14-6, 70%. And more importantly, as I noted before, the last 3 Saturdays with the bigger card for me to pick from, it was Alabama crushed Auburn 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, it was Ohio State crushing Michigan State. And last week, it was Troy plus a couple touchdowns taking Coastal Carolina to the gun. This is going to be my bookie buster play. Don't miss it. BettorCenter.com hitting 70%. So I'm not going to be able to give you my exact play here, but it should be a good game, and this is where my money's going to be laying today. So check it out, guys.
All right, Mr. Bookie Buster, busting the bookies, and you can only get that at BettorCenter.com. And I will be posting my college basketball plays. Another college basketball play up there. Yesterday's game was postponed. That was up there for free. And I'll have another one up there for free in college basketball today, as well as I have a handful of college basketball games again. Not as many as usual. The current record in college basketball, 118 and 87, I believe. I don't know the exact number. It'll be up there. I'm trying to remember from the top of my head. But yesterday was 3-3. The day before was 1-1. So you haven't missed much, but a bunch of juice lost in basketball the last 2 days. Hopefully that will turn around for us today, as I have 5 plays in college basketball. And one of them will be free on BettorCenter.com on the front page. If you go out there, if you go below the free game, you'll see Ross and Chip and Tony with their daily offerings. BettorCenter.com, free picks and pay picks. And I will give you a free basketball pick here in a moment when we get to our most interesting play of the day. But before we do that, let's get one more game under our belt here. And which one would you rather talk about, Tony?